Good morning. During the declared emergency in the City of Toronto, Committee of Adjustment virtual public hearings are being conducted via WebEx, an online digital platform, and will be live streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel. These measures are necessary to comply with physical distancing requirements and a provincial order that limits attendance at public gatherings. My name is Nancy Oman, and I will be chairing this hearing. Panel members participating via WebEx and who can be seen and heard are Yim Chan, Larry Clay, and Nimrod Salomon. City staff will be assisting us throughout the meeting, including moderating the WebEx platform. Agents, applicants, and other interested parties participating in this virtual hearing registered in advance and will be connecting through WebEx using a compatible electronic device. Their participation will be through audio only. We acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and it is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment for the City of Toronto is called to order. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning bylaw that apply to the property, permission to extend or alter lawful nonconforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. Anyone who wants to receive a copy of the committee's decision for an application must submit a written request by email to the general email address for the Committee of Adjustment, Toronto and East York District Office. Please include your name, address, and an email address. All Committee of Adjustment and TLAB notifications, as well as appeal updates, will be sent by email only. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, decisions may be appealed to the Toronto local appeal body known as TLAB, or in some limited circumstances to the local planning appeal tribunal known as LPAT. Appeal instructions will be set out at the bottom of the committee's decision. Participants who have registered in advance will be connected to this virtual hearing and will be muted automatically upon entry. When your item is called, each participant will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant will proceed with his or her presentation, if required, and the committee may ask questions and/or take the matter directly into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee, and I will comment when you're reaching the 5-minute mark. When addressing the committee, please speak slowly and clearly state your name and address. Please confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. Where required, the applicant or agent will proceed first with a presentation of the application, and then individuals in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have completed their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent will be unmuted and will have an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of discussion, and the application will be taken into committee for a decision. Please note, the committee may not entertain revisions to the proposals at the hearing today. The committee may decide to defer the application if substantially revised to ensure the revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice are informed of the changes. And just a reminder that if you are speaking and are watching the live feed on YouTube, can you please turn the volume down or mute it, because it does give a lot of feedback on the sound here. Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, have the minutes of the last Committee of Adjustment public hearing been confirmed by the members?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Are there members or staff? Are there any declarations of interest this morning?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay, seeing none.
Not me. No.
Thank you. Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, are you aware of any requests to withdraw or close an application?
I am not.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll now proceed with the hearing. Our first item is 329 Don Lanz Avenue. The committee has before it a copy of a plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a previous committee decision affecting the property. We have before us staff reports from planning, and we have forestry asking for condition number 2. And we have correspondence in opposition from 321 Don Lanz, and I believe that individual is speaking today. Okay, so we have one person speaking in opposition. Can I have the agent please identify himself for the record?
Yes, good morning. My name is Leo Mastandrea. I'm the agent for the owners.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mastandrea, because we have someone in opposition, can you please give us a brief presentation, no more than 5 minutes, and I'm starting the clock now.
Okay, well, our proposal is just to construct a detached garage on our property. If we look at the map on the map that was sent out with the application, if you look at number 323 Don Lanz, it's going right to the property line. 319 Don Lanz is pretty well going up to the rear property line. 331 Don Lanz as well. So there's quite a few. There's 335, 337, and on the other street behind us, there's number 70, number 68, number 60, which are pretty well all abutting the laneway. So that was to address variance number 2, where it's to be located a meter from the property. Planning report, they basically have no concerns because as for variance number 4, vehicle access to butting the street must be from a laneway. As noted in the report, it states that most of these garages on the Don Lanz east side do access their garage from Don Lanz and not from the laneway. The variance for the eve is only because we have a walkout. If we pull up the site plan, so we have a walkout, and if we move it over any further, it would jeopardize our garage door. So that's why our actual garage is set 1 foot from the property line, but our eve will be at 0 lot line. And the coverage is just because it's included in the overall coverage of the building. And if we read the staff report, they said they don't have any concerns, that just to tie us to the drawings that were submitted. If there's any questions, I can answer them for you.
Okay, thank you. We'll have you back after we hear from the opposition. Mr. Iwasiwaka?
Hello.
Hi, not sure if I pronounced...
Thank you.
Sorry, not sure if I pronounced your name correctly, but we need your name and address.
No problem, Chair. I know it's a doobie. Iwasiwaka, 321 Don Lanz, Brian.
Okay, so I'm resetting the clock, and you have 5 minutes now to state your opposition.
My first and general opposition is just that why can't anybody use their site and build within the already expected bylaws? This property has been exploited to the T's in terms of its house. I wish I was there, and I wish they'd just build a garage within the already specified bylaws. As the presenter, I don't know why it's not the homeowner. That's a little strange. I'm a homeowner. Just said that the lot lines were pretty well, according to the map. I don't know what that means. If we're getting specific in terms of 0.0 and 0.3 meters, I'd like to have those measured. Pretty well doesn't tell me too much. And the staff report from the city that says they're okay with it has little to do with me. I mean, I'm living here. The staff report from the city is not living here where a home is now looking into my backyard from 4 homes away. And a lot of the descriptions are a little bit shady until you actually see the dwelling. So I think they could just build within the already required variances and just make the garage smaller. How's that?
Okay, panel members, do you have any questions of the speaker? No questions? Mr. Mastandreas, can you please respond to the issues that were raised?
Well, the garage needs to be a certain size for it to be counted as a car, to park a car. Inside dimensions need to be a certain dimension. Based on the site, based on what's existing, we just fit it where we could on the lot, based between the walkout and the existing house. The actual garage, I think he's misunderstanding. The garage is set back a foot from the property lines. The zero setback is for the eave only. We comply with the rear yard landscaping, and the staff report suggests that just to tie us to the drawing. So I feel that they feel that it's consistent with what's been proposed in the area.
Okay, panel members, do you have any questions of the agent? Mr. Solomon?
I have a question. My question is, are there other lots on the street that have a lot coverage of 50%? And is this something that is typical of the area?
It is typical to have a lot coverage. Our existing house has a lot coverage of 40, I believe it's 42%. So we're increasing it by approximately 50%, which isn't consistent with the neighborhood, and that's why staff report suggested approval.
Any further questions, panel members? Okay, seeing none, we'll take it into committee. Any discussion?
Chair, I thought this was the variances being requested were fairly minor. I did look at the area. It did look like the structure is pretty consistent with a number of others that have been built in that area. The variances just frankly seem quite minor. It's a completion of the renovation of the property. If my colleagues don't have any concern, I'm happy to bring a motion to approve this application.
Okay,
I agree.
okay, so go ahead with your motion, Mr. Clay.
I would move approval of this application subject to urban forestry condition number 2.
And
planning.
And tying it to the plans as suggested by staff.
Okay, do I have a seconder?
I would second that.
Ms. Chan? Okay, I have a motion to approve the application, including the condition in the June 1st planning report, as well as forestry condition number 2, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Ms. Chan. All in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 2, 124 Balsam Avenue. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, presentation materials received August 13th, email correspondence from Transportation Standards. Forestry is asking for condition number 2. We have 2 form letters in support from number 122 and 126, so both adjacent neighbors. Correspondence in opposition from 125, 127, and 130 Balsam Avenue. I don't see any speakers listed here. If I can have the agent please identify himself.
Yeah, my name is Laith El Bahrani.
Okay, do you need the address, staff, or you're okay with what? Yeah, the agent. Okay. Panel members, do we need a presentation? It seems fairly straightforward. Do you have any questions? Mr.
I do have a
Solomon?
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
My question is about the very large tree in the front yard, and has an arborist report study been done to see what impact, if any, there might be on that tree?
Yes, we had an arborist look at it, and I think we did forward a report to Forestry and the Committee of Adjustment. And he did not see any impact. The thing is, we are actually trying to legalize an existing parking pad on the property, most of which was there when the owner purchased the property, and he's just trying to add one paver adjacent to that pad that was there already. And I think the pad was there like 3 years ago, like since he purchased the property, so it was already existing. So we're just trying to mostly legalize what's there, but just adding a bit of paver beside it to make it proper parking. Most houses have it on the side, on the street, and we're just trying to sort of get a parking for this property. There is a shared driveway, but is not usable because there is a fence at the time that the property was purchased between the two neighbors, and the current owner cannot even use that shared driveway, so it's just not usable.
Any further questions, panel members?
Can I just follow up? Can I follow up on that, Chair?
Yes.
The opposition to this application seems to be mostly centered on, just to follow up on Nimrod's question, mostly centered on that tree. Is that tree staying and mitigating?
Yeah, it is staying.
Oh, okay, so that's fine. I think people were mostly.
We're not trying to remove it. We had like actually a very reputable arborist. He's one of the people who put together the bylaw for the tree for civic trauma. So he's very reputable arborist. Looked at it, and before we actually got a report from him, which we actually sent to Forestry and Committee of Adjustment. So.
Yeah, I get it. Thanks. I just wanted to be clear that you weren't planning to remove that tree, that you were...
No, not at all. No. Not anymore. No.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions, panel members?
No.
Actually, I have one question. Will you be using permeable pavers or?
Sorry?
Permeable pavers. Are you
Yes. So we had that on the plan. It says we're using permeable pavers on it.
Okay.
It's on the site plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Panel members will, okay, we see it on the plans here. Okay, thank you. Panel members, I think we can take it into committee. There don't appear to be any more questions.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with this, and I think it's quite a straightforward application. And I will move to approve with forestry condition number 2.
Okay, I have a motion to approve, including the forestry condition, moved by Ms. Chan. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Solomon seconds. All in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 3, 45 HILLHOLM Road. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. No further correspondence. Can I have the agent please identify himself for the record?
Yes, good morning. Bill Outred.
Panel members, I don't think we need a presentation. Do any of you have any questions? Mr. Solomon.
So my question is, are you able to use permeable material for the circular driveways since you're proposing to reduce the amount of landscape?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. Before we go forward with this actual item, we just noted yesterday that there's an error in the notice.
Okay.
Maybe I can just speak to that briefly before we go forward, because
just state up front first before you explain the error. What's the error on the notice?
We've got a revised zoning notice as of July 16th. We were working with planning to reduce the size of the driveway so that planning would be fine with the application. So we actually sent in a revised zoning notice and I believe it was forwarded to the committee after July 16th. So just briefly, variance number 1, the landscaping was basically reduced. Increased, I should say. We applied for 39%. We're actually 50.63%. So we've reduced the size of the driveway quite a bit.
Square meters is what?
76 point.
Hang on, 76
64 meters squared.
and you said 50.63%, correct?
Yes, as opposed to 39%
Okay.
and 59.75.
Okay,
So that was revised on the revised notice. Second of all, variance number 2 was eliminated.
okay,
Variance number 3 is correct.
okay.
However, there was one other variance that the zoning notice added. It was basically driveway with 2 points of access to the same street.
Okay, with an added variance, like we can't, if it hasn't been circulated, we can't add it. It has to be recirculated.
Okay, how, do you know, maybe Anita can answer how quickly we can get back to the committee?
Through you, Madam Chair, we're dealing with all applications that have not been heard yet. So if you're deferred, you're deferred, and you'll be scheduled when we've dealt with all of the applications that we currently have.
Being that there's no neighbors, Madam Chair, is it at all possible to do that amendment and proceed forward today?
Not with an additional variance.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
yeah, if we could, but not with an additional variance, like,
Through you, Madam Chair, if you're going to defer it, I'm not going to revise for the hearing. We'll just indicate that the revisions were required and that an additional variance was needed as well. And then if we can, you know, squeeze it on somewhere, because it's relatively straightforward, but I don't think it will be any time before the end of November,
so.
if December even.
Yeah, so you heard what Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer said. With the revisions, the quicker you submit, the faster they can do their best to try to squeeze it on. And she will do her best November, probably December, which,
It'll just be deferred for 3 months and then the first available hearing.
yeah,
2021 or first available.
yeah. Because we were really working on getting through applications that have been in the hopper for a while.
These hearings are very difficult to put together. They take a lot of time, a lot of resources. These spots are very precious, and if you're not prepared, then it's just, we just can't simply add somebody to the next hearing. We've got quite a long list of people who have been waiting very patiently to be heard.
Okay. So basically, with that, we're going to have to defer the matter. And so I'll go to my members. We'll take it into committee.
I did have that earlier question about whether there was going to be permeable pave material,
Right,
and maybe
but-
that's something that the applicant can indicate in the future
Okay.
when they come back.
Okay, so noted. So we are looking at the deferral right now. So I'll need a motion and comments.
My question is, do they need to pay for the deferral fee?
Yes, it's automatic.
The recirculation fee, yeah, it's,
Yeah,
yeah,
they do?
yes.
Okay, so maybe I put a motion to defer the matter with the deferral fee. They have to pay for it.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Okay, seconded by Mr. Clay. So I have a motion to defer the matter, including recirculation fees, moved by Ms. Chan, seconded by Mr. Clay. All in favor? Okay, the matter has been deferred unanimously, and yeah, please, to the agent, if you can also note permeable pavers when you resubmit somewhere on the plans. Okay, thank you. Item number 4, 120 Earl Grey Road. Panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have no further correspondence. We have no one speaking in opposition. Can I have the agent please identify herself?
Good morning. I'm Desiree DeVaris of 120 Earl Grey Road.
Okay, panel members, I don't think we need a presentation on this one. Do you have any questions?
No, Chair. Again, I think this is a fairly straightforward application. I would move a motion to approve it, and I don't believe there are any conditions.
All right, I have a motion to approve the application moved by Mr. Clay. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Solomon? All in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved. Thank you. All right. Item number 5 is number 2, Ojibway Avenue. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, correspondence from the TRCA, and a staff report from the acting supervisor tree protection, and they're asking for condition number 2. We have 7 form letters in support from residents on Oneida Avenue and Omaha Avenue. Can I have the agent, and there's no speakers, correct? Okay, and can I have the agent please identify himself for the record?
Hi, my name is Glenn MacArthur. I'm the co-owner of the house along with my wife, Annie Samashine.
Okay, thank you, Mr. MacArthur. Panel members, do you have any questions? I don't think we need a presentation, correct? Mr. Solomon, you have a question.
Just for the applicant, would they have any difficulty if this was considered to be approved to tie to the site plan and elevation drawings, given what it actually is that's being proposed?
Sorry, the audio wasn't that good. I didn't understand the question.
The member is asking if you would have any objections to a condition being put in if the members do decide to approve, to tie it to the site plan and the elevation drawings.
I'm not sure I fully understand.
Okay, so the member is asking if we choose to approve it, he would like to see a condition put in that ties it to the site plan and elevation drawings as submitted to the Committee of Adjustment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions?
Just quickly, I noticed that it's an infill into 2 existing structures already that look like the existing structures are studios. This one plans to be a greenhouse. I just want to confirm that the applicant doesn't have any intention to make this a habitable space.
Plan is, this is a Toronto Island resident.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, can you stop talking for a second? Do you have audio on in the back? Because we're getting a really major echo when you speak and we can't hear a word you're saying.
No, there's no audio on here.
Okay.
Should I continue?
Yeah, try again, because...
Okay, so as an island house, we do not have basements, nor do we have garages. So our studios or our sheds have to fill a lot of different usage. So they've been used as studios, exercise rooms, storage areas, you name it.
So you have no intention of using it as habitable space?
No.
Okay. Any other questions, panel members? Seeing none. Okay, we'll take it into committee.
I think the variances are minor. I would like to propose a condition that it be tied to the site plan and elevation drawings, and also include the conditions. I think were there urban forestry
Number 2.
conditions?
Yeah, number 2.
And so I would like to put forward a motion to approve with those conditions.
Okay, motion to approve as per the conditions stated by Mr. Solomon. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Clay? Okay, all in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Item number 6, 247 Parkview Hill Crescent. The committee has before it the copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and we have forestry asking for conditions number 1 and 2. Can I have the agent identify himself for the record, please?
Good morning. My name is Saeed Mahboubi, 1670 Bayview Avenue, Suite 302.
Thank you. Panel members, I don't think we need a presentation. Do any of you have any questions of the agent?
No.
Okay, seeing none, we'll take it into committee for any comments and a motion.
I believe that what's being proposed is appropriate. Feel the variances are minor. The FSI is really only a small increase overall. And so I would put forward a motion to approve the variances subject to urban forestry conditions.
Okay.
Yeah, I also agree, yeah. So I would second it.
Yeah, there's a motion to approve moved by Mr. Solomon, seconded by Ms. Chan, including forestry conditions 1 and 2. All in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next item is number 7, Baby Point Crescent. The committee has before it the copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a previous committee decision, email correspondence from Heritage Preservation Services, as well as the TRCA, and forestry is asking for condition number 2. We have correspondence in support from number 72 Baby Point Crescent, as well as form letters from number 62, 65, and 67 Baby Point Crescent, and 68. Can I have the agent please identify himself for the record?
Hi, my name is Joseph Sayateki from Strata Design and Development. I'm the agent on behalf of the homeowners, 66 Baby Crescent.
Thank you. Panel members, again, it's very straightforward. I don't think we need a presentation. Do any of you have any questions?
My question was just a clarification. If the 3 of the sides are to be remained open, if they are enclosed, then does that change the FSI or I just didn't know whether we needed to tie to the plans to ensure that the 3 sides remain not enclosed.
I will note that the purpose of the application does state it's open on 3 sides. Okay, are there any?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, the idea is that it is still open on 3 sides.
Are there any further questions, panel members?
No, Chair. Again, I think you're right. This is a fairly straightforward, fairly simple. This is a neighborhood which is characterized by rather large lots, and I think that this application, this proposal could be quite easily accommodated within that lot. I'd move approval, subject to urban forestry condition number 4.
2.
2?
Yeah.
4. Okay, 2. Sorry, pardon me.
All righty. Do I have a seconder? Okay, motion to approve, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Ms. Chan, including forestry condition number 2. All in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is item number 8, 288 Mcroberts Avenue. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We don't have any speakers listed. Can I have the agent please identify himself for the record?
Yes, very good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Nelson Espinola here as the agent for this application.
Thank you. Again, panel members, it looks like a straightforward application. I don't think we need a presentation. Do you have any questions?
No.
Seeing none. Mr.
Yes, I will move for approval if there aren't any more questions.
Mr. Clay, do you have any questions? No? Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Chan.
Yeah, I will move for approval.
Okay. I have a motion to approve moved by Ms. Chan. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Mr. Solomon. All in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 9, 245 Indian Road. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have no correspondence and no speakers listed. Or hang on.
Through you, Madam Chair. The agent was in the hearing, but he has since left. So I'm going to try and call him back if you want to move to the next item, and we'll come back to this.
Sure. Okay. Panel members, we're standing this down because the agent is currently not on the phone. So we're going to go to item number 10, 17 Draper Street. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have a covering letter from Jamie Cameron, the agent. We have Forestry's asking for condition number 1, and Heritage has conditions, has a condition as well. Correspondence in support from number 15, the adjacent property. And do we have a speaker on the line? Yes? Okay, can I have the agent please identify himself for the record?
Yes, this is Jamie Cameron.
Okay. Can I ask you to do a presentation, no more than 5 minutes, starting now, because we do have someone speaking in opposition. Starting the clock now.
Sure. Yeah, okay. To the members of the Committee of Adjustment and staff of the City of Toronto, good morning. My name is Jamie Cameron, and I am the architect for the addition representing the owner of 17 Draper Street as the designated agent for this application number A0144. The scope of this application is for an addition to the northeast corner of the existing semi-detached residence, which abuts a public thoroughfare parkette. The addition would remove the jog in the north end of north wall at the back of the building on all floors, creating a consistent width for the residents from front to back, less the 7-inch setback requested by Heritage Planning. The purpose of the addition is to provide increased living space for the owner and his family. The addition has taken into consideration the character of the street with the following elements. The proposed building height matches the existing. The proposed charcoal-colored block reflects contemporary construction and at the same time is respectful of the original masonry building material and slate accent color. There is a potential symmetry with a mirrored addition at 23 Draper Street proposed on the other side of the parkette, which would complement the symmetrical design of the semi-detached facades. The addition doesn't affect neighboring sightlines or views. In order to achieve the rectilinear floor plate and optimize the use of the property, the floor area exceeds the maximum allowable floor index by 1%. We have reviewed the staff report and we're okay with proposed conditions. Thank you for your time. I will welcome any questions you might have.
Mr. Cameron, I think I'll have you back after we hear from the opposition, and members will ask you questions at that time.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Evidente, are you on the line?
Miss Evidente, yeah, Mrs. Evidente, yes, I am.
Hi. Can you please identify yourself, name and address for the record?
My name is Tita Evidente. I live in 25 Draper Street, next to number 23 Draper Street.
Okay. Can I I'm starting the clock. You have 5 minutes to state your opposition. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it would block the sunlight from my backyard, but I realized it's the addition that he's making is the one that is south of the house. It's not north. It's not the south of the house, which is towards the parquet. So I really don't have any objection to that, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so you're withdrawing your objection then. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Panel members, do you have any questions of the agent? I mean, this is a truly minor variance. I'm not seeing any questions. We'll take it into committee for a decision.
Well, as you said, Madam Chair, I believe this is a very minor variance that's being proposed, and I think it's appropriate. And so I would move a motion to approve the requested variance subject to heritage planning conditions and urban forestry conditions.
Okay, do I have a seconder? There is forestry number 1.
Okay, second that.
Okay, so I have a motion. Did you want to double check that, Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer? But I wrote down number 1.
Forestry number 1.
Yeah, number 1. Number 1, if you, hang on a second, if you go.
But it's the old report, right?
Yeah, this is under the June 1st report. If you go to the UF report, it's. I would include it just in case they missed it. So the motion is moved by Mr. Salomon, seconded by Ms. Chen, including forestry condition 1 and the heritage condition in the August 12th report. Yeah. Okay, all in favor? So that's been unanimously approved. Thank you, and Mr. Cameron, you're maybe stay on the line because the next one is yours as well.
Okay.
So item number 11, 23 Draper Street. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a covering letter from Mr. Cameron, the agent. We have email correspondence from Heritage. They're basically asking for the same condition, I believe, as the first one, the one we just finished, and correspondence in support from number 15. Okay, can I have you state your name again for the record, sir?
Yes, Jamie Cameron, agent for this application.
Okay, panel members, do you have any questions? Again, a very straightforward minor variance request. Alrighty, we'll take it into committee then for a motion and discussion.
I would move approval of the requested variance. Once again, this is a very minor variance that's requested and subject to heritage planning conditions.
Do I have a seconder? Mr. Clay? Okay, motion to approve, including the heritage condition in the August 12th report, moved by Mr. Salomon, seconded by Mr. Clay. All in favor? The application has been unanimously approved. Thank you, sir. Yeah? Okay, members, we're now going to go back to item number 9, 244 Indian Road. Again, all we have before us is copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and no correspondence, and nobody speaking in opposition. Can I have the agent please identify himself for the record?
Hi, this is Peter Latoshak, the agent for 244 Indian.
Okay, panel members, again, I don't think we need a presentation. Do you have any questions of the agent?
No.
Seeing none?
No.
Okay, alrighty, so we'll take it into committee then. Ms. Chan, did you want to go ahead?
Yes. Yeah, I will move for approval if there aren't any more questions.
Okay, have a motion to...
I don't think there's any conditions either.
No, there isn't. Okay, I have a motion to approve by Ms. Chan as she feels it meets the 4 tests. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Solomon, all in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, item number 12, 475 Queen Street West. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a covering letter from Mr. Ibrahim, the agent, and email correspondence from Heritage Services, and I'm not showing any conditions. Can I have the agent please identify himself for the record?
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Sean Tusi. I'm Mr. Ibrahim's colleague and office principal at Mimar Architects, Inc., representing the owner today.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tusi. Panel members, again, I don't think we need a presentation on this. Are there any questions?
I did have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
My question really related to the basement space and what is it being used for, and can any bicycles be parked in the basement?
Mr. Tusi, did you get that question?
Yes. Through you, Madam Chair, the basement is currently being used by the existing retail that is on the ground floor. But in terms of offering bike racks, there are existing bike racks, even more than what is required, that is located in the stairwell. Also, the tenants are permitted to take their bicycle inside the units. In fact, we have more than, while the 3 is only requires, we're offering 6 bike racks. But the way the zoning bylaw is written, they do not count the bike racks that are inside the building as a, let's call it, like satisfying the requirement of the zoning, and they only count the ones that are outside. So we do have bike racks, we do have parkings for them, we have more than what is required. And on top of that, they're permitted to take the bikes into their units. There's also a city-installed bike poles outside the building. There is also a bike share station, which is right across the street. And we think really this is a very good example of just a technical variance.
All right, are there any further questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll take it into committee.
So I think this is very minor. As the applicant indicated, there are provisions being provided to store the bikes indoors already. So I would move approval of the requested variances, and I believe there's no conditions.
Okay, motion to approve moved by Mr. Solomon. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Clay? All in favor? Okay, your application has been unanimously approved, sir. Okay, next item, item number 13, 124 Bedford Road. We have before us a copy of the survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a covering letter from Hassam Rostami, the agent. We have email correspondence from Heritage Services. There are no conditions or other reports. We have correspondence in opposition from 43 Admiral Road, 48 Elgin Avenue, 93 Bedford. Okay, Bedford, we have 93, 129, 92, 121. They're all have sent in correspondence in opposition, as well as Mr. Helfand, the solicitor, acting on behalf of 121. I believe we have 2 speakers listed, but they're both from the same address, correct?
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair. Matthew Helfand is going to speak on behalf of 2426 and 121, or 24 and 26 Lowther and 121 Bedford. So Michael Liebrock is not on the hearing to speak.
All right, thank you. Mr. Rustami, because there is opposition that will be speaking, I will need you to do a presentation. You have 5 minutes starting now.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Hassan Rustami, and I'm agent on file for the property noted. Do you want me to start the presentation now?
Yeah, the clock started.
Sure. So, I'm sorry. So the house is 124 Bedford. It is a very large brick house. It is also listed as a heritage part of the East Annex Heritage Conservation District. And it is under Part 5, which means that we cannot touch the facade facing the street. And if we do any changes to the back or to the sides of the property, it shouldn't be visible from the front of the street. In the last year or so, we have worked with the planning and with heritage planning. We have reviewed all the matter with Nathan Orthin and other people, Andrew Fewer, and the result was the proposal that you can see in plans. If you see the second page, thank you so much, of my cover letter, you can see that there are many examples of houses with 3 or 4 units. Also, another rooming house just north of us that has 21 units that gets 34 guest houses. So the house, the interior area of the house is almost 6,000 square feet, and it's very large. So because of that, my clients just decided to divide it, having one main unit that would be used either by them or their parents-in-law, and the rest of it would be secondary units to be used as an affordable rental unit for young couples or families. And I think that, I can come back to it if there was any questions or objections.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Helfand, can you please identify yourself for the record?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, very well.
Great, thank you very much. My name is Matthew Helfand, and I'm a lawyer with the law firm of Airden Burles. And I'm here on behalf of the owners of 24 and 26 Lowther and 121 Bedford Road. It is my submission that the proposed minor variance fails to maintain the intent and purpose of the city's official plan and zoning bylaw, is not minor in nature, and is undesirable for the area. It is my first submission that the variance does not maintain the intent and purpose of the official plan. Policies 4.15, C and D of the official plan provide that development in established neighborhoods will respect and reinforce the existing physical character of each geographic neighborhood, including prevailing building types. The official plan further provides that the prevailing building type and physical character of a neighborhood will be determined by the most frequently occurring form of development in the neighborhood. The applicant has identified several buildings on Bedford which do include multiple units ranging from 2 to 4 units. Notwithstanding the existence of some multi-unit homes, however, the prevailing building type in the neighborhood is single-family homes. Multi-unit homes are the exception. The proposal contemplates 6 individual units, which would result in the proposal containing far more units than any other multi-unit home in the neighborhood. The proposal is in fact akin to a small apartment building. The official plan notably provides a completely separate designation for apartment neighborhoods. And policy 4.2 of the official plan provides that apartment neighborhoods are distinguished from low-rise neighborhoods because a greater scale of buildings is permitted and different scale-related criteria are needed to guide development. Now, because the official plan contemplates a separate land use designation for apartment neighborhoods, it can be understood that the type of multi-unit buildings permitted in the neighborhood should be moderated, such that single-family homes are not converted into what are effectively small apartments. My second submission is that the variance does not maintain the intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw. The applicant seeks one variance from the zoning bylaw to permit the total interior floor area of all secondary suites to exceed the prescribed maximum of 45% of the interior floor area. The proposal contemplates that the total floor area of all secondary suites will be 72.8%. While the question of whether a variance is minor is not a purely mathematical exercise, the amount by which the applicant proposes to exceed this prescribed maximum of 45% is striking and truly draws into question whether the secondary suites can be considered to be secondary at all. It's helpful to first review the history of these provisions in order to understand their intent. In March of 2019, Council enacted amendments to the zoning bylaw to permit as-of-right zoning for secondary suites in certain areas. The staff report recommending approval of these amendments is attached as Appendix A to this letter. The staff report on several occasions makes clear that notwithstanding any permission to construct secondary suites must remain subordinate to the dwelling unit. This is clearly articulated on page 10 of the staff report, where the intent behind the 45% restriction is stated as follows. The proposed requirement that all secondary suites comprise no more than 45% of the primary dwelling unit's floor area will apply to ensure the secondary suites remain subordinate to the primary dwelling unit. The zoning bylaw defines secondary suites as including the language subordinate to a dwelling unit, and this definition was not amended in March 2019. The LPAT has previously accepted a definition of subordinate as something of inferior importance or rank, secondary or subservient. It is clear from the plans that are submitted that the secondary suites do not subordinately contribute to the primary dwelling unit and cannot be considered to be of inferior importance in terms of operation and function. The effect of the variance is such that the secondary suites are simply no longer secondary and therefore do not maintain the intent of the zoning bylaw. This is simply a 6-unit building where one unit happens to be slightly bigger than the rest. That is all. It does not support the intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw. Further, I note that the applicant has raised the issue of affordable rents in the secondary suites, but I would draw to the attention of the committee that I'm not aware of any statement of that within the covering letter, and the applicant has not proposed any conditions that the rental units will be either rental or affordable in any way. It's therefore my respectful submission that this application should be rejected. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Panel members, do you have any questions of the speaker? Seeing none. Okay, Mr. Rostami, can we have you back, and can you speak to the issues raised?
Yeah. I appreciate neighbors' concern, and especially the lawyer that just represented 3 of the neighbors. We have had another issue last week as well. I'm really happy to see that he has actually went ahead and read the Planning and Housing Committee report on the secondary units. I'm very familiar with that document as well. The apartment neighborhood, unfortunately, is not relevant to this property. We are not asking for any additional scale, height. The density allowed on the site is actually 1. The existing house has a density of 0.75. We are not adding to that density at all. We are keeping it as is. There is no additional area that is being built. If you look at the plans, thank you so much. If you look at the plans, you can see that it is a beautiful 150-year-old building. Look at the existing, exactly, I want you to actually look at the existing plans, just the previous pages. If you look at the previous pages, this is a 9-bedroom house. It's a very large house. So what I did is that I actually counted the new bedrooms that we are putting in. The final house would be only 13 bedrooms, which is exactly 45% more than the 9 bedrooms that the existing house has. The number of fixtures, because of some of the neighbors were concerned about the pressure on the infrastructures, the number of fixtures in the house right now is 14, and the proposal is going to be 21, which is 50% additional. Now, to the matter of the subordinate unit, one of the units right now is around 2,000 square feet, and the rest of the units are 600 to 800, which are subordinate to the 2,000. But I agree that, that's why we are here. That's why we are asking for the variance. Otherwise, we are sticking to the heritage planning. Also, we are providing 5 existing parking spaces. So we are not asking for any parking variances, no addition, no extra density. The only reason that we are here is that we are dealing with a really large house that is existing, and to keep the heritage aspects of it. So we are keeping some of the chimneys, the main. If you go to Plan A301, you can see that at the middle of this house, there's this beautiful lobby that would act as the entrance with a staircase and a 150-year-old stained glass that we don't want to destroy. So we are just keeping them in place. And if I keep that in place, I couldn't make the main unit bigger than it is right now. In addition, I just wanted to mention that the other units that I've mentioned in my cover letter as having the 3 to 4 units in the whole neighborhood that you can see, it is scattered throughout the whole neighborhood. Their frontages are from 18 feet to 30 feet, whereas our house is 50 feet wide. So it is a larger house, and that's why it has more units. For example, 110 Bedford has 3 units, and the frontage is 19 feet, and 101 Bedford has 4 units, and the frontage is 23 feet, whereas our house is 50 feet wide, twice as 101, and has only 6 units, as proposed, and if considered in the committee. Thank you so much for your patience.
I just have a question. Can you confirm that the number given by Mr. Helfand of 72.8% for the interior floor area of all the secondary suites, is that correct?
I have to double check, but the numbers of the areas, if you go back to my plans, on page, I think it is A100. Mm-hmm. Just give me a second. I'm actually going to look at that too. I think it is on page 100, exactly. There is a small, exactly, that table over there. It has the unit area summary, and the unit number 1 would be the main unit, and the other units would be secondary units.
Right, but the variance speaks to a combination of all of the secondary suites together. So that's my question, is that the number 72.8%, is that in fact
I don't think so.
You don't?
I don't think so, and that's
why. But you don't know the actual number, okay.
I can calculate it if you want.
Sure, and if the other question is, are there any more unit or homes that have 6 units, or is this in fact the first one?
So it is probably the first one. 107 Bedford used to have 7 units, 5 units, and they have just recently changed it into 3 units that are luxury units. And 85 Bedford used to be a 13-unit rooming house that they just recently, they had actually a minor variance they passed, and they're turning it into 3 luxury units. So as you can see, the neighborhood is actually losing some of the smaller sized units, and most of the units are becoming triplexes and larger units.
Okay, thank you. Panel members, do you have any questions of Mr. Rostami? No questions? Okay, we'll take it into committee.
Maybe I can start off just to provide some comments. I do have concerns in terms of what it is that's being proposed and whether the minor variance process is the appropriate way to do that. I think I did a calculation. I think it worked out to about 66-67% that what the secondary suites would account for, so at least 66-67%. So I do believe that what this would do it would no longer be a detached house, but it would really become like a small apartment building. And my view is that then this doesn't meet the intent and purpose of the official plan and the zoning bylaw.
Okay, any
Those
further?
are my
Thank you, Mr. Solomon. Are there any further questions? Or, comments?
I'll, Chair, if you don't mind, I'll weigh in. I appreciate Nimrod's views. I have a bit of a contrary view. I I did look around this neighborhood. There are large houses on large lots, which of course is an attractive feature. There are a number of homes which have been converted, I assume legally, into multi-unit dwellings. It is a major road, Bedford. It is proximate to downtown. It's proximate to the University of Toronto. We do have a shortage of rental accommodation in these and other areas adjacent to downtown. I did note that they're not planning any external changes. They're retaining the heritage aspect of this dwelling. There's only one variance, and that is secondary suite square footage. No other variances are required. Notwithstanding its relationship with the OP, I do think in some cases it's overtaken by our need for more rental accommodation, particularly in high growth and high desirable areas. So I actually am supportive of this application.
Okay, Ms. Chan.
Yes, I'd like to weigh in. I agree with Mr. Clay, and I know the area really well, and I agree that the trend is moving into this really large Victorian buildings that this building is like 6,000 square feet. Even you divide into 2 or 3, it's still very large units. When I look at the design of these units, the primary one is almost 2,000 square feet, and the smallest one is already 670 square feet. It's actually a good size unit, and I think that I have a feeling that this design focus on the quality of these units. And I agree, I actually agree with the application, and I think the trend in the area is to provide quality and affordable units in the area. And if you move for approval, I would second it.
Okay.
And with the heritage permits that is required.
I'm not showing any heritage conditions. I think they just.
Are they not subject to heritage review? I thought they had.
It says, I'm reading the email, it doesn't have concerns with scheduling a hearing, and it says they'll review the application in further detail when it's formally circulated, but I don't see any further correspondence. No, there's nothing else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right.
Well, if that's the case, just to get this thing going, Chair, I'll make a motion to approve this application. And I don't believe there are any conditions, so we'll just leave it at that. I do think it, notwithstanding the compelling argument from legal counsel, I don't think it is in contravention with what the intent of the OP and the zoning bylaws are.
Okay. Motion to approve. Yeah, are you seconding, Ms. Chan? Okay, motion to approve, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Ms. Chan. All in favor? Mr. Solomon, you dissent? Is that a yes? You're mute. You're on mute.
I oppose.
Okay, thank you. All right, your application has been approved, and Mr. Solomon dissented.
Thank you so much, members of the committee and Madam Chair.
Thank you. Item number 14, 64 Russet Avenue. Panel members, we have before us a copy of the plan of surveys, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. Correspondence in support from number 62, which is adjacent. Do we have speakers on this? One or two?
Through you, Madam Chair, there are two speakers. 64 Russet is in opposition, and 62 Russet is here in interest.
Okay. All right. Can I have the agent please identify himself for the record?
Good morning, Madam Chair. Can you hear me?
I can.
Good morning. My name is Giorgio Lolos, representing 64 Russet Avenue.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to give us a presentation, no more than 5 minutes, and I'm starting the clock now.
Thank you. Good morning. This is a very interesting sort of request that we're asking. We're basically dealing with an existing residence that Mrs. D'Annunzio purchased a while back ago. And all we're trying to do here is just simply try to take an existing condition, existing non-conforming condition, and making it legal. The majority of the work is internally and interior alterations by putting fire separation in the existing 3-unit dwelling. And with that, I'm trying to improve the conditions and safety, like safety issues of the units. We're proposing a front yard secondary entrance to the basement for a secondary means of egress. And that's why we have the front yard as a entrance to the basement as a secondary variance. One of the primary variances is dealing with an existing floor area of the second floor and the attic space as a unit. The bylaw recognizes that maximum gross floor area for a unit is 45%, which is 95 square meters. We're asking for 54 out of 114. Again, it's an existing condition that we just cannot manipulate. It'd be foolish of us just to take away area just to comply to and not maintain the existing integrity and the characteristics of the home that's always been there. It's very simple.
Okay, thank you. Is Hakan Ozilhan, are you on the line?
Yes, I am online.
Hi.
Good morning.
Yeah, please identify yourself for the record, name and address.
Okay. Good morning to the members of committee. My name is Hakan Ozilhan. I have been living in 64 Russet Avenue for 10 years as tenant. I am opposed to the application because my landlord, Mrs. D'Annunzio, is going to use renovation to evict me. I am a long-standing tenant, and some landlords in Toronto claim they need to complete renovations, but instead make superficial changes and then rent unit out to a new tenant for a much higher amount. Renovations destroy people's lives. They push people out of their homes and neighborhoods where they have established social networks. Landlords often are displacing long-standing tenants with deep ties to their community, many of whom are vulnerable. And when we see proposed plan, in the existing plan, we have 3 windows in east side, south side, and west side. And we have also separate entrance in existing plans. But they offer in proposed plan another separate entrance and extra 3 windows, so that during construction, I need to move out. There is no need for these minor variances. I live in basement apartments, and she knows that she cannot rent increase above guideline, and she's using, she's gonna use the renovation to evict me. And before also, previously, she evicted a tenant to use the unit for herself, but she has never lived here. Just on paper registered here, and she has never lived here. And I'm gonna be next victim of my landlord. I have been living here 10 years, and although I lost my job due to pandemic, I am paying my rent always on time. I never miss any payments. I'm a good tenant, and this is the only way to evict me. And I don't know, if they start in 4 or 5 months construction during the winter time, I am unemployed now, and I don't know when I will go back to the work, how I'm gonna find a new apartment. And also, we have the right of first refusal. I know that, but the problem in Toronto, there is no legal mechanism to track if the landlord offers the unit back to the original tenant. Landlords often violate the right of first refusal. That's why I am opposed to to the application, and please take in consideration my views, and thank you so much for your patience.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ozilhan. Mr. Branco. Mr. Branco?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I had a small technical difficulty there. Good morning to all. I am here in interest at this moment.
Yes.
There have.
Hang on. Before you start, I need you to state your name and address for the record. And also,
My apologies.
Yeah, that's fine. And also, we do have like a support letter from you. Are you rescinding that?
I am not. I continue to support that view.
Okay, go ahead then.
Carlos Branco from 62 Russet. I'm the neighbor to the south. I am here in interest in case there were any further changes today to the submittals. There have not been to this moment, so unless there are some changes, I will continue in support.
There are no changes that we're aware of, and generally speaking, the committee frowns upon making changes on the fly. So,
Great.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and wishing you all well.
All right. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Lolos. We'll go straight. Just to confirm for the last speaker, you are sticking with the variances as submitted and what he has seen. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And then if you can just speak to the issues Mr. Ozilhan raised. I know we don't have jurisdiction over landlord-tenant issues, but any of the planning-related matters, please respond.
No, first and foremost, to you, Madam Chair. I mean, I have never been faced with a situation to try to rebuttal on a personal sort of matter like this. I don't know where to start, and I apologize. I have heard of cases, but I again, knowing Mrs. Denunzio, I think it's not in character of her nature. That's just, I've known her for almost a year and a half, 2 years now. And I can't speak and add any sort of, I would say, soothing aspects to this matter. The only thing I can say is the interior alterations are happening within the units. The corridors are where they are. We are only providing means of life and safety matters to this building to make it more to comply with a building code in the issue of means of egress and so forth. We are not altering any other sort of situations within the units themselves. We're just trying to improve the conditions for the tenants.
So basically, you're saying that the construction can take place with the tenant remaining in his unit.
I can't speak. I can't speak on our behalf as a contractor or a builder. Mm-hmm. But again, if you actually look at the proposed conditions, because we submitted two set of plans, existing and proposed, and you can see that the modifications that are happening are strictly exterior of the front wall of the basement apartment, and basically we are adding 2 new windows in the basement apartment on the north side, and that's only due to the fact that coordinating with Mr. Carlos at 62, he had a concern that we were increasing the means of egress or the glass area of the units in according to the building code requirements, and we just try to sort of correspond with his wishes of not putting him on the south side, so we decided to sort of implement him on the north side of the wall in the basement units. And that itself comes with a price tag on our behalf, but again, trying to sort of work with our neighbors and so forth, which are primarily our main sort of understanding and recognition that we should consult our neighbors and deal with them accordingly and respect their needs because we live alongside of them. That's what we did. We located 2 new windows on the north side. Then yes, that's the only alteration that we are implementing in the basement unit itself.
Okay, panel members, do you have any questions of Mr. Lolos? Seeing none, okay, we'll take it into committee. Any discussion?
Well, I'll start, Chair. I did notice up and down Russet Avenue that there are a number of homes which already have secondary entrances off the front for, I presume, rental or secondary suites. So I don't think putting an entranceway into the front of this house, in addition to rebuilding the front porch, would be out of character or inconsistent with some of the development that already exists on the street. So I think the variances are comparably mild or moderate, and I would support this application.
Okay, any further comments?
I do agree with the comment. And actually, putting stay in the front is will increase the safety of the basement unit. And I agree. I will second the motion.
All right, I have a motion to approve, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Ms. Chan. All in favor? Okay, your application has been unanimously approved, sir. Thank you.
Madam Chair, can cut it off.
I can't, whatever you said, sir, thank you, but you were kind of cut off.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Does the tenant have a right to appeal an application?
Anyone has a right to appeal.
Even a tenant that has no legal bounds? I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say legal bounds, but I mean,
any member of the public or, anyone who would like to make an appeal is entitled under the democratic process to launch an appeal.
And
thank you very much.
Wait, through you, Madam Chair, if you are considering appealing, even if you're not going to appeal, you should send us a letter asking for us to send you a copy of the notice of decision so that if somebody else does appeal, you'll be notified of the appeal. They do it by email.
Okay, thank you. Item number 15, 124 Victor Avenue. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have four pictures, photographs of the subject property from the front and rear, along with a couple of aerial photographs that show us the presence of third floor additions in the neighborhood. We have two form letters in support from 122 and 128. And correspondence from 102. I don't see any speakers other than the agent. Can I please have him identify himself for the record?
Yes, good morning. This is Parisa Amiri. I'm the agent on this application. Actually, we have four letters of support. It's 126, 128, 120, and 122. 120 just made his support last night. That's why we haven't submitted yet. But on that letter that is before you is 126, 128, and 122. Means the two immediate neighbors from the property are in support of this application.
Okay, thank you. Panel members, this is a very simple application. Are there any questions of Ms. Amiri? Seeing none. Okay, let's take it into committee for a decision.
I would just note that this is, as you indicated, a very small addition. The existing building already exceeds the bylaw FSI limit, and so the actual addition is only about 19 square meters. And so I think it is appropriate and is a minor in nature, and I would move approval of the requested variance.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Ms. Chan? Okay, I have a motion to approve, moved by Mr. Solomon, seconded by Ms. Chan. All in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 16, 675 Yonge Street. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have email correspondence from Heritage. I don't have any conditions showing for this application and no speakers in opposition. Can I have the agent identify himself or herself, please?
Hello, my name is Lisa.
And I'm the agent for 675.
Okay, panel, we can't hear you very well. Let me see if the panel members have any questions. Any questions, panel members? Seeing none, we'll take it directly into committee.
Chair, very straightforward, just a change of use from office to education. I thought it was quite appropriate for the area. I would move approval of this application. There are no conditions.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Ms. Chan? Maybe when members, just when we're starting to come in committee, I think it's easier if you just all unmute yourselves because so a lot of times I see lips moving, but I can't hear you. Okay, so Ms. Chan, are you seconding?
Yes, I just thought that there's a heritage permit requirement.
No, again, I believe it was just correspondence.
Just a review, eh?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not clear whether they said it's required or whether they will look at it or something.
Yeah, I guess one can assume that if we don't see a report that they're not commenting any further other than what they said in the email.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's a listed property. That's it. Okay, I will second it.
All right, so I have a motion to approve, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Ms. Chan. All in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 17, 38 Woodlawn Avenue. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. And we have a staff report from right-of-way management. We don't have any speakers in opposition. Can I have the agent please identify himself for the record? Hello, Mr. Liu?
Hi, Victor. You're unmuted. You can speak. We should be able to hear you. Okay. I'm going to try and give you a phone call real quick.
Why don't we take 5 minutes while you're trying to get Mr. Liu, or do you have him on the line?
Victor, I see you muting and unmuting your microphone. I'm going to unmute you, okay? You should be able to speak.
Okay, panel members, let's take 5 minutes while staff attempts to get the agent on the line. So let's come back at 25 to 11.
Hi, Victor. There may be a problem with the computer, so I'm just giving you a call if you want to test speaking through your phone.
Hello?
Hi there. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to put you back on mute, and then when we come back in 5 minutes, I'll unmute you, and you can speak to us through your phone, okay?
Thank you.
No problem.
of the time, you know, I can see one talking, and then there's a delay, and then the other one puts up the hand to second, and it's kind of like, that's why I thought if they unmute. Yeah. Okay, I'll just ask them then, maybe raise their hands because there might be echoing from the mics. You think? Long afternoon. Oh yeah, that's always terrible when I think you could have today. It looks pretty nice. Oh, I would have been okay with your flip-flops. I know, but take advantage while you can, you know. It's going to be... What's that? No? Okay. All right. Okay. All right, are we ready? Okay. They're not. Okay. Okay, members, are you ready to go? All righty. Okay, Mr. Liu, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Okay, can you just identify yourself for the record?
It's Victor Liu. I am a co-owner of the property with my wife.
Okay, panel members, we have one variance before us. I don't think we need a presentation. Do you have any questions of Mr. Liu? Seeing none?
No.
Okay, let's take it into committee for a decision then.
If there aren't any further questions, I would like to move for approval with the conditions that imposed by the Transportation Engineering Department.
Okay, those conditions, Madam?
There's only a recommendation, actually, they say.
It's not a condition. It's
yes, it's a recommendation. Yeah. So I withdraw that. No, I won't put it as a condition then.
Okay. So I have a motion to approve the application moved by Ms. Chan. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Solomon? All in favor? Sir, your application has been unanimously approved, and the member was referring the sort of a memo June 1st from right-of-way management regarding alterations to the licensed parking spaces. If you're proposing anything, you have to seek approval from them.
Yeah, thank you. We're not proposing any changes to the parking space.
Okay, thank you. Item number 18, 11 Gardens Crescent. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have correspondence from number 7 Gardens Court, and we have nobody speaking in opposition. Can I have the agent identify himself, please, for the record?
Hello, my name is David Oliver. I'm the co-owner of the home with my wife, Christina Oliver.
Thank you. Again, panel members, there are 2 variances before us. Do you have any questions of the agent? Seeing none? Okay, we'll take it into committee.
I believe that the variances are minor, and I would move approval of the requested variances.
Do I have a seconder? Mr. Clay? Motion to approve, moved by Mr. Solomon, seconded by Mr. Clay. All in favor? Application's been approved unanimously, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Item number 19, 489 Concord was withdrawn. Item...
I forgot to mention that this morning, and I'll need a motion because they were not entitled to a refund.
Okay. Panel members, item number 19 was withdrawn, but we will need a motion that it's that no refund of fees will.
So it would be closed, no refund.
So it's closed, no refund. So I will need a motion.
Oh, I'll put a motion to close the file with no refund.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Okay. Motion as stated by Ms. Chan, closing the file without a refund, seconded by Mr. Solomon. All in favor? Okay, that's been unanimously approved. Item number 20, 406 Russell Hill Road. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 2 previous committee decisions that affect the property. We have a letter from the local councillor recommending refusal, correspondence in opposition from number 29, and I believe that that resident is going to be speaking.
Through you, Madam Chair, there's an additional speaker in opposition from 41 Watson as well.
Okay, do you have a name?
Mike, I believe it's Kajak. Kajaks.
Okay, so panel members, we'll have 2 speakers. Can I have the agent please identify himself for the record? Mr. Sibanik, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I need you to identify yourself for the record, and after that, you have 5 minutes to give us a presentation since we have 2 people speaking in opposition. So go ahead, and I'll start the clock after you've identified yourself.
Good morning, committee. My name is John Sibanik. I'm the agent representing the owners of 406 Russell Hill Road. I wish to provide you a brief history of this property. The previous owners obtained minor variance approvals for the outdoor fireplace in July 2012 for setbacks, and in May 2013 for building height. In June 2013, a building permit was obtained and shortly thereafter constructed. However, it was constructed at a 1.51 meter setback in lieu of this 2.1 meter setback. The current owners purchased the property after the construction of the fireplace, which was in November 2013. In May of 2019, I received authorization to apply for a minor variance for the rear yard setback of the rear outdoor fireplace. Which resulted in a violation for the. It was a complaint by a neighbor. I believe it was the neighbor to the west. In reference to the objection letter by the rear neighbor, the mature trees provide shade and are beauty to the surroundings and provide privacy and soundproofing for all neighbors. The cedar trees along the west boundary line tower above the chimney of the outdoor fireplace. The sound from the pool equipment is muffled by the elevated garage of the west neighbor, which is located 0.61 meters from the west property line. together with the cedar trees and the fact that the rear yard setback of the west neighbor's home is approximately 9 meters away from the property line, I think that helps with the muffling of the sound. There has been some removal of boxwood and cedar hedge along the south property line recently because of the shade originating from the south neighbor. Should mention that although I can't submit the written letters, we have verbal support from the neighbors at 404 and 408 Russell Hill, summarizing that they have no concerns about the fireplace structure or placement on the property or any issues with the soft landscaped area as well. In reference to the west neighbor's concern about drainage along the rear property line, all downspouts of the pavilion that are located on the 406 Russell Hill are directed away from the rear property line. The west neighbor's downspout garage actually discharges into the west property line. I feel that, I realize that Forest Hill is a special neighborhood, and I believe that the request for relief to the west setback is minimal, and the integrity of the neighborhood is not compromised.
Okay.
I can provide additional information if required.
Okay, I think what we'll do is go to the opposition, and then we'll have you back after both of the speakers have done their presentation.
Thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair. I made a mistake. Mike is in the afternoon hearing for item 20, not the morning hearing.
Okay. So, panel members, we only have one speaker, which is number 29 Dunlow Road. Ms. Ross, are you there?
Trying to unmute. Okay. Yes, I am here.
You're. We can hear
you.
you. Yep. I just need your name and address.
Okay.
Your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Deborah Ross, and I live at 29 Dunlow Road, and my property is directly behind 406 Russell Hill Road.
Okay, I'm starting the clock now. You have 5 minutes.
All right. I am opposing the variances for 406 Russell Hill Road that are before us today. The first variance is the fireplace should be 2.94 meters setback from the property line, only it's showing 151 meters. In addition to that, there's a concrete slab directly behind the fireplace where the pool equipment and pipes are situated behind the fireplace, and they extend to my survey markers and pins right at the property line. There is no setback. In fact, the site plan and the survey show that there's a 0.34 meter setback to the property line, which does not exist, and the survey shows 0.03 west meters and 0.31 east meters setback. Does not exist. I'm opposing the first variance of the 1.5 meter setback for the fireplace, as this will affect my property directly because there is a lack of privacy. The sun rises to the east and casts shadow on the property. There's too much hardscape at the back end of the property line, creating drainage concerns, even though I added the drain plan after the fact. The fireplace is called Chimney. It's very close to the property line and could cause a fire hazard if used because the cedars are very close. Due to the fact the fireplace is so close to the property line, the pool equipment being behind the fireplace will create noise. This creates a negative impact on the enjoyment of my property, and this could affect the sale and the value of my property. And based on the size and depth of 406 Russell Hill Road being 170 feet deep or more, there are other alternative locations to put the fireplace, very tall chimney, and pool equipment without impacting the neighbors' properties. I repeat, the pool equipment's right at the edge of the property line because the fireplace is too close. The other concern is if the cedars that I have behind my property die, I'm going to be seeing a very tall fireplace. Variance number 2 is I'm opposing the 46% of the rear yard being soft landscaping because the majority of the property, Russell Hill property line, consists of hard surface. They have in a straight line that goes patios, pool, coping stones, garden pavilions, roof, patio, fireplace, and very tall chimney, concrete slab, housing pool equipment and pipes with no setback to the property line. This has a great effect on my property, 29 Dunlow Road, because we are approximately 5.5 feet lower in elevation than 406 Russell Hill Road. So all the water falls to my property. Creates draining and floodage, and I've already experienced this and incurred huge expense to address the drainage issues of 406 Russell Hill Road. Since then, they built the 2 wooden sheds that do show on the site plan, so that's adding more hardscape across the back. Mature trees died in this backyard construction. The south side of the lot, they've just recently, it's showing as soft landscaped. And this is inaccurate because the south side of the lot has fake grass carpet. So this means that the soft landscaping is even less than 46%, because fake grass carpet along the side where they took the cedars out is not considered soft landscaping. And the survey shows on the north side as well soft landscaping, but they've just taken down the cedar hedge and chain link fence and removed all that, and all that's left there is a soil bed with root system still in the bed, so I don't know what they're going to do with the soil there. And you know, it's determined what they're going to do on that north side. So this will add more noise. And again, the size of 406 Russell Hill lot is so deep, there's other alternatives, and I think they should follow the bylaws as opposed to, I don't find these variances minor. This is the 3rd time this property has gone to Committee of Adjustments. And each time it's gone, other than one variance, has affected my property directly. And even though, and I have support letters from my neighbors and also from the councillor, that he does not approve of any of this as well. And it might be fine that 208 and 204 next door, or 404 and 408 is supporting 406. But what I'm discussing does not affect their property at all. I'm the one that's getting mostly affected because I'm directly behind this property, sitting much lower in elevation, I might add. So that concludes what I think, and you know, there is a history to this.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Now I can. You cut out. When you said there's a history, we didn't hear whatever came after that.
Okay, well, there's been a history of this property that started in 2011 when the previous people built it. They built it initially, these fireplace and the garden pavilion without building permits. Then the building permit, the building people came to inspect. And a lot of things were done, you know, that weren't legal. So this has caused a lot of neighbor unhappiness because this backyard just keeps going on and on and on. That's the point.
All right. I'm gonna have to cut you off there. You're at 5.5 minutes.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Mr. Sibinik, actually, members, do you have any questions of the speaker?
Chair, if I could just, I'm just looking at the site plan, just to confirm from the neighbor, it looks like there's an existing garage right behind where the chimney has been built. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, that's my. I have to. Yes, that's my property, and that's legal. It's actually a cabana building. So that's legal, and I have 0.61 meters behind that building. So I have a setback behind there. 0.61 meters.
Trying to confirm.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I was just frankly just trying to confirm that there's a structure there.
Yes, there is. It shows in the
great.
plan. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions of the speaker, members? Seeing none. Mr. Sibinik, can you please respond to the issues that were raised?
Yeah, I think the fact that the garage, the west neighbor, is 0.61 of a meter away, it's actually closer to the setback than the fireplace location of this neighbor. So I'm not sure, that might be legal non-conforming, but in my opinion, there's not enough space there either, you know, to accommodate drainage or whatever. But I think the fact that there's overflow there too from the garage, water's coming off that roof directly into that property line, and that could be part of the reason for the drainage issues. But I'm not sure we're here to address drainage. I think it's setback of the chimney from what I know on the and the landscape requirement. There's two items here that I would like to address, and I think the fact that this whole rear yard, with the massing of the chimney, the way it's constructed, as it tapers, as it goes up higher and higher, has less and less impact. And the fact that the trees are towering over the chimney in any event, some of the trees are on 406 side, some are on the west neighbor's side. So I think together they produce a proper separation between the neighbors, and the fact that the garage is elevated provides additional privacy as well. I think, as for the other issues, I'm not sure they're to be dealt with in this committee, but I'd like to address, as far as the soft landscaping, there's been improvements done. There's the reason for the change of the material along the south property line is because of the overhead shadows cast by the south neighbor's tree. So, we've done things that make sense, and the carpeting is permeable, and there's soil underneath there, so it's going to survive better than typical grass along that side of the property line.
Okay, thank you, sir. Panel members, do you have any questions for Mr. Sibinik?
Yes,
Ms.
I
Chen?
have one question. Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to confirm that you are not proposing any new construction, right? This is all existing.
Mr. Sibinik?
Yep, no, it's all existing construction.
And I'd like to also confirm, you mentioned that the fireplace was built in 2013?
There was a permit issued in 2013, shortly after the second minor variance was granted. So that's the brief history on that.
Okay. Yeah, and also, can you tell me approximately how much taller the chimney is compared to the structure, the garage on the neighbors? Yeah.
Well, it looks to me, let me go to my committee of adjustment elevation.
Just approximately.
Yeah, I'll give you an idea. So the chimney height is 5.79 meters, say 5.8.
Yeah.
And 5.8 less an average of 1.2. You're looking at about 4.6 meter height difference between the top of the garage and the top of the chimney flue.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions, panel members?
I had a question to the applicant. Is there a reason that the chimney could not be moved so that it could comply with the zoning setback?
It's constructed of masonry. It's on a concrete pad. It's considerable bit of massing, and it ties into the pavilion at the side. So by complying with that, the major structural changes to the pavilion located to the east of the fireplace.
Thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none. Okay, we'll take it into committee. Discussion, a motion.
I'll wait in first. And I'm seeing it as like it is an existing condition and they're trying to just legalize it. And we're also just looking at two variances, and I consider them to be minor, and I don't have any problem with this application.
Okay, is that a motion?
I don't know. I'm waiting for other people's responses.
Does anybody else want to weigh in with any comments?
Sure. I do have concerns with the existing condition. It appears it was not built in compliance with the zoning at the time. So even though it's an existing condition, it is not complying. My concern is the negative impacts on the abutting neighbor, and then privacy issues, and so those are my concerns.
Chair, I think we all share the concern when things are built without the appropriate permissions in the beginning. We really should be a little bit more careful of that. I did also want to note and acknowledge the councillor's correspondence on this file. Having said that, I kind of agree with you. It is an existing structure. They are quite large lots in this neighborhood. These are the kinds of amenities I think we've come to expect or see quite often in these kinds of homes on these kinds of neighborhoods. I do think the variances are minor. I do think, that builders or homeowners should not be constructing amenities or structures without the appropriate permissions in advance. It's a bit of a wrist slap, but I do think in total these variances are minor, and I would support it.
I would just add that I think I echo all the comments made. I agree. I think we all agree that we all frown upon things that have permissions not being built as per what they were granted. I do recognize these are different homeowners. I think the fact that there is an existing structure behind this fireplace, in my opinion, somewhat mitigates it. And I furthermore echo all the comments that were made, so I would be inclined to support the application as well.
So I will move for approval with no conditions.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Okay, all in favor? The application's approved. Mr. Solomon, are you dissenting?
Yes, I'm opposed.
Okay, so the application has been approved and Mr. Solomon is dissenting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 21, 577 Bathurst Street. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. Can I have the agent please identify himself?
A very good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Victor Rosa, representing the owner of the property.
Okay, we don't have anyone speaking in opposition and no correspondence, and this is one variance we have before us. Panel members, do you have any questions of the applicant? Okay,
my quick question was whether they had consulted with the abutting semi-owner.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, can the question be repeated?
Have you consulted with the abutting property owner?
Yes, the owner did have consultation with the property owner to the south. Basically, before you is the rebuilding of this one-story rear addition. The variance is existing in terms of the length. We are not increasing its length. Basically, it's a rebuild.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions, members? All right, we'll take it into committee. No. Okay, we're in committee.
I have no problem with this application. It's straightforward. It's minor.
Okay, is that a motion or?
Oh, I'm waiting for. Yeah, I will put a motion for approval if there are any opposition or responses.
I don't see anybody waving or shaking their head, so I think you're okay.
Okay, I move for approval then.
All right, do I have a seconder? Okay, seconded by Mr. Solomon. So moved by Ms. Chan, seconded by Mr. Solomon to approve the application. All in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved.
Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, same to you. Item number 22, 230 Boone Avenue. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have a staff report from transportation, and I believe they are asking, they are asking the owner to eliminate the single parking space that's shown outside of the garage on the plans. And we have a 12-signature petition in support signed by residents on Boone Avenue. Can I have the agent please identify himself?
Yes, hello. My name is David Riley with SGL Planning. I'm here on behalf of the agent and the owners.
Okay, panel members, again, I don't think we need a presentation. Do you have any questions of the agent?
Yes. Yes, I do. I do have one question. If they're going to eliminate that parking space, will that change the variance?
Yes. Yes, it would. So my request today would be to leave the application as is and include the variance. So this application could have gone in two ways. One could have been to request only 3 spaces, so this would have been a reduction. We need 4 because the proposal involves the addition of 1 unit, so you need an additional space. But there's 3 existing spaces within the existing garage. And in my opinion, and I've seen transportation's comments, it was better to be able to provide an additional space, albeit smaller than the minimum required width, but still being able to provide that 4th space was better than, in my opinion, reducing from 4 to 3. And within the 2.4 meters, you could adequately park a car. I mean, I even looked up the average car widths, which are 1.83 meters to 1.98 meters, and certainly within this area, including within the existing garage, the spots are actually similar in size to this 2.4. These are existing, so they don't require a variance, but it would actually be very similar to the existing condition on the property. And overall, I do think that that it's appropriate to go this way rather than the other way. And if we went the other way, we would have to add in that variance, which would result in a deferral as well, because it would have to be re-notified, and that would not be desirable. I think realistically, this will be used as a parking space because it's available space on the property, and it's better to recognize that and legalize that, and I think it's appropriate to do so in this case, rather than go the other way.
Thank you. That's good explanation. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions?
Yes, I do have a question. I don't quite understand the wording of variance number 2. The maximum permitted width is 3.2. The parking space will be 2.4, which is less than the maximum. So I'm not sure I understand the wording of that variance.
Should it be minimum, Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer? So variance number 2 says the maximum permitted parking space is 3.2 meters. They're asking for 2.4 meters. Should it read the minimum permitted parking space width?
Sorry, I think that maybe they put down the wrong phrase, because if it's minimum, it will be 3.2 meter minimum. That's a huge parking space.
Oh yeah, unless it's too. It should be minimum instead of maximum. So the minimum permitted parking space width is 3.2, and they're asking.
I think this.
Well, and they're asking for 2.4.
I understand, Madam Chair, but I think it's a wrong figure, because I've been designing a lot of parking space. 3.2 cannot be minimum. It's over 12 feet wide.
Okay, I think staff is double checking the zoning review.
Madam Chair, that's what the zoning review says.
Okay, she's confirmed that that's in fact the number that the zoning review has. So it should be the minimum permitted parking space width is 3.2 meters.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I can't object to that, but I never seen that's a big figure. Minimum, for maximum.
Okay, we're doing a triple check here, so just stand by. Yeah, 569.
Because if it's the minimum, I'm so sorry, I just like to know, if it's minimum, means that the other 3 parking spaces are also not, it's undersized, right? Yeah.
But they're existing, so they may have had variances before, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, they're checking the actual bylaws, so just bear with us for a second. .2 is what the notice says. It's 200.5.1.10 and then bracket 2A.
Parking space must have the minimum dimensions of length of 5.6, width of 2.6. That is the minimum. There's an obstruction. You have to increase it by 0.3.
So 2.6 plus 0.3 is 2.9, right?
On each side.
Oh, plus another, okay, so it's correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think, though, just to be clear, I don't think the section is completely clear because there should be, sorry, it says 2. Okay, it just says, it has just 2 on the zoning notice. We've referred to 2A Roman numeral 1, but I think it should be 2A Roman numeral 4. But I think we'll just leave it as the whole section.
But the number is correct.
The number is, 2.6 plus point.
Yeah, Ms. Chan, it's 2.6 for the parking spot and then plus 0.3 for each obstruction side. So that's another 0.6. So the number's correct. It's 3.2.
Because it's
I understand. Yeah, I do understand what you're saying, but if you read the variance by itself, if it's just it's the maximum permitted parking.
No, through you, Madam Chair.
It should read minimum. That's incorrect. It's minimum permitted parking space width is 3.2, which is 2.6 plus 0.3
so that
and
one,
0.3.
okay.
Yeah? Okay.
That's the minimum. Okay, I got it. Okay.
All right.
We'll just fix that.
Now I forgot where we're at. I think we were in committee, right?
Yes.
Or we're still at questions. Any more questions?
No.
Okay, so now we're in committee. Okay, any discussion?
I think the variances are minor. The addition that's being proposed is small, and so I would move approval of the variances with no conditions.
I agree with Mr. Solomon. I think they are minor, and I think it's a practical use of that space. There are a lot of small cars now.
Okay, actually, I just want to raise the issue, and I maybe come out of committee just to clarify with the agent. The transportation report is asking to eliminate that single parking space. So I think I heard he needs the parking space, so I'm not sure where everybody stands on that, but.
You can't put that as a condition because it's part of the reason why he doesn't have a variance for parking.
So basically, that's what I was getting at. So we
It's the
can't,
difference between a variance for having 3 spaces where 4 are required or having 4 spaces where 1 is undersized.
okay, so we basically don't include
There's
the
no condition.
Okay, all right, so continue. That's assuming we're going to approve it. Okay, continue. So is your motion to approve, Ms. Chan, still stand without the
Oh, I thought it's Mr. Solomon.
Oh, Mr.
Mr.
Solomon.
Solomon.
Sorry, Nimra. I even wrote your name down here. Sorry.
I would
So
second it.
are we all in agreement that we're okay not including the transportation condition? Let's start there. Okay.
Yes.
Proceed, Mr. Solomon. So we have the motion to,
Yeah, so my motion was to approve the variances with no conditions.
okay, and Ms.
And
Yin,
the variance number 2, the wording is being changed to say minimum.
yeah, so as amended?
Yes.
Graphical error.
Yeah, typo, okay, so minimum. And Ms. Chan, you're seconding? All right,
Yes.
all in favor? Okay, the application has been unanimously approved.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. Item number 23, 297 Woodbine Avenue. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have one photograph of the rear of the property, covering letters from Mr. Maston and Santosh Pillai, the applicants. We have 3 form letters in support signed by 293 and 301 Woodbine Avenue, as well as 56 Herbert. And can I have and we have no speakers and no conditions. Can I have the agent identify himself, please, for the record?
Hi, it's James Maston, owner of 297 Woodbine.
Panel members, very straightforward. Do you have any questions of the agent? Seeing none, we'll take it into committee.
I believe the variances are minor. There is already on the adjacent property a garage at the rear, so this would be similar on the applicant's property. So I would move approval of the requested variance with no conditions.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Mr. Clay. Okay, motion to approve, moved by Mr. Solomon, seconded by Mr. Clay. All in favor? Okay, your application's been unanimously approved. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Item number 24, 18 Woodcraft Crescent. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have a staff report from permits enforcement parking dated the 12th of August, asking for, just one second. They're asking that the obsolete driveway within the city boulevard be restored to soft landscaping, and that the existing curb cut is also restored without any cost to the city. Can I have the agent identify himself, please, for the record?
Good morning, Madam Chair. My name is Chris Pereira. I'm the planning and urban design consultant for the applicant. I'm the principal of Embahar Planning and Design Limited.
Thank you. Panel members, again, we have 3 variances before us. I don't think we need a presentation. Do you have any questions?
I do have a question for the applicant. If they can comment on the transportation services recommendation or condition to remove the parking at front. Are they not is the applicant not looking to keep that parking or that?
Through you, Madam Chair. So the condition from the permit / parking people, we have reviewed it. We are in agreement with attaching that particular condition to it as it pertains to the site. So There's an existing parking pad, which is actually in the boulevard, and it's kind of one of those situations where it's a product of a different era. So the proposal now seeks to eliminate that kind of area in part with the new dwelling. And then we would rely on on-street permitted parking as is permitted on that particular street. And then really what the permits people have been requesting is based on the new standards that should be then sodded and then the curb should be restored, which we are in agreement with.
Any further questions, panel members? Seeing none, we'll take it into committee.
Seems straightforward to me, Chair. If no one else is going to move a motion, I will. So I'll move approval subject to transportation condition.
Okay. All right, I have a motion to approve, including the condition in the transportation report dated August 12th, moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Ms. Chan. All in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved. Item number 25, 181 Boardwalk Drive. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. We have a staff report from community planning, and they are asking for a condition that basically relates to the side exterior main wall height be limited to the proposed third-story expansion, provided that the expansion be constructed substantially in accordance with the dimensions shown in drawings A8 and A9. There are no speakers listed. Can I have the agent identify himself for the record, please?
Good morning. My name is Ryan Kwan, agent for the owners.
Okay, thank you. Panel members, again, one variance before us. Do you need a presentation? I don't think we do. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, seeing none, we'll take it into committee.
I think it's only one variance we're looking at. I consider it minor, and I have no problem with this application.
Okay, any other comments? If not, Ms. Yin or Ms. Chan, sorry, go ahead with a motion.
Yes, I will move for approval with the conditions of imposed by planning department.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Okay, motion to approve, including the conditions in the August 11th planning report, moved by Ms. Chan, seconded by Mr. Solomon. All in favor? Your application has been approved.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Item number 26, 475 Dawes Road. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a covering letter from Kevin Washington, the agent, correspondence in support from number 473, which is the adjacent property, as well as 122 Main Avenue. Can I have the agent please identify himself for the record?
Yes, hi, I'm Gerard Savoy. I'm speaking on behalf of Trevor and Sandy Savoy.
Thank you. Panel members, I don't think we need a presentation. We have one variance before us. Do you have any questions?
I had a question on the driveway material. It's going to be very wide, from what I think 31 feet or so. And so are you considering using permeable paving material?
No, we weren't. We were going to do it with asphalt because we still have a fair amount of backyard. 25 by 20 is still left with greenery. At least 25 by 22.
Okay, any other questions? No further questions? Okay, we'll take it into committee then for a decision. Any comments?
I have no comment, given that it's at the rear, and I think it's okay with me. That's just it.
Anybody else have any comments on the matter? Mr. Solomon?
Yeah, I do have concerns that this will be a very wide driveway of 31 feet, and I didn't get a sense of why it is needed, and that also that it's not proposed to be of any permeable material, so all the water will just run off onto the road. And so I don't believe it's appropriate or compatible with the local street.
Can I weigh in about permeable? Actually, there are permeable asphalt. There's the new system that it look like asphalt, but it's actually acting as a same. It's actually better than even permeable pavers. I mean, if they want to put the money in, you can actually get asphalt.
I think we would have to put a condition in that permeable material be used.
Surface,
Yeah.
yeah.
Water permeable material be used.
I would, Chair, just weigh in. I think Nimrod makes a good point. I think the committee generally is increasingly steering applicants more towards some form of water permeable treatment when they're covering over the land. And notwithstanding the applicant's interest in doing it in asphalt, I would support an amendment or a motion that would require that some form of water permeable material be used for the parking area.
Okay, did you want to move a motion with that condition then, or?
Sure, I'm happy to move a motion that we approve the application subject to the condition that the material used for the parking area be water permeable.
Okay, so, yeah?
I will second that, Madam Chair.
Okay, so the,
Madam Chair, just the parking pads or the entire driveways leading to, because there is portion that's on the right-of-way, which would need right-of-way management's approval, and they haven't weighed in on this one. So would it just be on the applicant's property or the entire driveway and parking pads?
To install two.
So it would be the new driveways and,
Yeah, I would say the new access driveway and the two surface parking pads that are being proposed.
or just all, including the existing ones, so it all, I mean.
Yeah, I would support that amendment. I think it's kind of appropriate. If we're going to do it for part, we should be doing it for all.
Okay, so just to be clear, so for the...
Or just access driveways and surface parking?
So, Mr. Clay, the two surface parking pads and the access driveway in the rear yard, or everything, or just that?
No, the access driveway and the parking pads.
Okay. Did you get that, Madam Deputy Secretary? Okay, so with that condition, the motion has been moved by Mr. Clay, seconded by Ms. Chan to approve the application. All in favor? Your application has been approved with that condition, sir. Sorry, that was the end.
All right, even though the Beth Avenue has no parking on that street, this is still an issue as far as the water flow and the drainage?
Right.
Sorry, so yeah, the condition as stated would be to put some kind of permeable, water permeable surface to use that for what you've proposed here.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Okay, our final item today, item number 27, is 1169 Ossington Avenue. We have before us a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a covering letter from Roman Sapp, the agent, as well as a presentation package prepared by him. We have 23 form letters in support signed by residents on Ossington and Carris Avenue. Can I have the agent identify himself for the record, please?
Moments up.
Hello?
Oh.
Hi, you're cutting out.
Moments up. KFA Architects.
Hi, Roman. There's a poor connection, so I'm just going to give you a call on your cell phone, all right? Hold tight.
Okay, while you're doing that, panel members, I don't think we need a presentation when we get the agent back. Do any of you have any questions of the agent? No. Okay, let's just wait till he's back on the line, and then we'll take it into committee.
Hello, Roman.
Hi there.
Excellent.
Okay, Roman, while we were reconnecting with you, we don't need a presentation, and we're taking it straight into committee as there's no questions, okay? So, panel members, any comments? And/or a motion? Who wants to do the honors on the final item of the morning?
I'll move a motion to approve the requested variance. I believe it's minor. There is good public transportation in the area, and there's no way to get a parking on the site. There is no driveway, so I would move approval.
Do I have a seconder? Ms. Chan, okay. All right, I have a motion to approve, moved by Mr. Salomon, seconded by Ms. Chan. All in favor? Your application has been unanimously approved, and the committee stands adjourned at 11:27 a.m. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. All right.
See you guys.
Bye.
A good one.
Bye. Record time, right? That's good.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.